Good evening, friends, followers and channel members. Welcome to a rather damp looking Toulouse this evening. You know, I can't remember the last time we did a Saturday night stream, so this is a little bit impromptu, which
Toulouse
means that...
traffic, Beluga 56 Alpha on arrival for runway 32 left via the Narrow 3 India. Arrival...
Sorry guys, just listening to this.
Number 70.
Wow, a Beluga inbound to Toulouse. Sadly, I don't think my model matching is going to stretch quite that far. A Beluga with a crying child in the cockpit as well, by the sounds of it, God bless them. Yes, as I was saying, I can't remember the last time we did a Saturday night stream. This has been rather impromptu, which means it's rather unprepared. Forgive me now, HD, good evening. But we're off to Rennes. The weather there is pretty rubbish. It's rather windy, if anyone wants to check out the local METAR for Rennes, so could be interesting. We'll see what happens. So I hope everyone is having a good weekend. Sorry for the very short notice for this stream, but yeah, why not? I had a small window of opportunity, so I thought we'll get a quick one in, and it's about an hour and 10 minutes flight time, obviously with our prep, which I'm going to do with you guys here. We'll obviously add a little bit of time to that. So good evening, everyone. Welcome on board. Good evening, Lurids. What's next, J-Hog? What's next? Why are you always mid-flight when these start? Yeah, sorry. What's next? J-Hog, Alfie, Dark Fury. Good evening, Amaguire, Tony Mo, Landerlex, T64. Thank you for coming on board tonight. Matthias, Dr. Magic, Danny Rubble as well. Good as always to see you. Edward, Robert Finn, Alain Herbel, and Gareth Bentley. Thank you so much for coming. Klaus as well. Klaus Kroner, hello. How's the weather in Denmark this fine evening? Probably better than it is where we're heading to be honest. I love the fact that the rain here, as I'm just watching the light rotating beacon from the GPU, you can see that occasionally it rains lots, occasionally not, so we've always got wind and rain battering this airfield as well. Callum Aldi, oh thank you so much Callum for your kind £2 super chat there, who says love the streams you do for us. Thank you so much Callum, you are very welcome. That's very generous of you. Thank you so much for your support. Right everyone, let me get you guys the operational flight plan, which I've not even had a chance to scout through yet, so I'm going to just pop that into the YouTube chat for those of you watching on there. I'll pin that as well. So all you lovely PMs can be going through for anything that I missed. As I say, it's not been the most well prepared this evening, so we shall we'll see how we get on, and then we'll get on board as well. Right, have we got, let me just have a quick look, have we got any other aircraft with us tonight? There's no ATC sadly online, which is quite surprising actually. France is normally well supported here on VATSIM, particularly at the weekends, but it seems like we are on our own tonight, so never mind. This is the beautiful Toulouse handcrafted airport, available from Orbex, so really nice to have that to use this evening. Thank you to them. Let's get on board. Oh, there you go. That gives you a much clearer, a good clearer picture of the weather. You can see the rain on the windshield. HD says he's going to have a good look at it now. Thank you, HD. I really do appreciate you being here for this tonight, particularly as I say, as I've not prepped. One of the things I'm going to do straight off the bat is, before we start thinking about fuel, I'm going to go and get a weather request for where we are headed, just so I know what we can expect when we get there. So I want the weather please for Lima Fox Romeo November. We'll see what's currently happening there. Send that off. Wait for that to come through. And if we do, as I'm sure HD is doing right now, let's have a look at that operational flight plan together. In fact, no, let's be a bit more realistic.
Toulouse traffic, Beluga 56 Alpha on arrival for ILS, on approach for ILS 32 left.
He's coming on 3-2 left, we're planning departure 3-2 right, but he'll be touched down well before we push back. So 3-2 right for departure, not too much turbulence in the flight. Flight level 320, trip wind, look at that headwind. This is the wind we're going to be flying into. Headwind of 89, that's going to slow us down. So plug fuel 4.5 tons, we'll be taking more than that. Let's scoot down. Check as I'm going down here, just checking moors. There's no terrain really to worry about with this flight. So an ILS approach, look at that crosswind there. Crosswind component is actually, the crosswind component isn't too bad, but the headwind that we're going to get as we're coming in. So really, yes, it will be blustery, but hopefully most of that is coming straight down the barrel at us, so it shouldn't be too bad. Let us just have a look then at what is happening. So this is right now, yeah, 290, and the runway planning on landing at in Toulouse is runway 28. So that's why it's more of a headwind than anything else. So gusting up to 35, visibility is fine. Temporarily it's dropped, however, to 3,000. Showers of rain and broken at 1,000 feet. Cumulonimbus clouds. Other things then to be aware of. Let's go through. What is the date today? It's the 8th. Yeah, those winds obviously lasting now for around 24 hours, for around 12 hours, sorry, looking at that. So probability 40, temporarily gusting up to 40 knots, so those winds could get greater as we fly there tonight. So yeah, we're looking at gusts up to between 30 and 40 knots this evening. But as I say, looking at the direction of the winds, most of it is a headwind, so it's not like we're trying to get in at a 38 knot crosswind, so that's good. Alternates are okay as well, not quite as blustery in Nantes this evening. Either way, we can play this a little bit safe. I'm happy particularly with the well, let me also just double check what kind of approach is available. We know it's an ILS, but to what degree? Right, oh, it's only Cat 1. Okay, not that I'd be doing an auto land with a max crosswind landing, but we've already ruled that out. But it is only Cat 1, so that runway visual range 550 meters. If that rain is coming in and the visibility does tend to drop, well, again, something to bring in. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Have a look at the NOTAMs. Now, I actually prefer reading the NOTAMs. I'm going to cheat. I prefer reading the NOTAMs on the PDF, which I've given you, just because they have in bold some of the highlighted areas, which is a little bit easier. It stands out, so I'm just going through that now on my second screen, and there's nothing there that's standing out to me. Not for our departure anyway. Approach procedures, that's here in Toulouse. Let's have a look at the arrival airport. Stand closed, that's not a problem. Few towers and cranes. Nothing with regards to our arrival. So, NOTAMs checked, NOTAMs look good. Okay. HD, that is an excellent question. Where on earth is the Sigmet chart? How frustrating. I have no idea. Simbrief haven't removed them, have they? I would hope not. Huh. Right, okay. Well, that's annoying. Anyway, should we decide on our fuel? Well, the alternates, we've got a good couple of alternates. We've got Nantes, which the weather is, the winds are calmer, and then we've obviously got Paris as well. I really can't see us not getting into Rennes this evening, but we're going to go with an extra half ton. So, HD has a fuel figure in mind. Highest value wins. I'm plopping for 5 ton. So That's what I'm going to go for. Should I just load that, or should we see what everyone else has in mind? Go on, HD. I'm going to wait and see what everyone else has got in mind before we start the refueling process. But 5 tons is my my decision.
Toulouse traffic, Beluga 56 Alpha. Vacated the active runway on 98. Taxi in to Beluga parking November 8.
Well, you need the light.
Papa November 2 and whiskey.
APU master, we'll get that sorted. HD says he's not happy with 5 ton. Keep them coming, guys. Let's see what... How does 8 ton sound? Really? You'd want as much as that? Wow. I guess we know you're not paying for it, don't we? What's our takeoff weight? Oh yeah. And landing weight. Fair enough. We've got loads of room. Right, 8 tons. In it comes. Okay, refueling's underway. How's that APU doing? Is that up and running yet? There it is. Turn that APU bleed on. Let's have a look what's currently happening then. AOC messages received. What have we got? So at the moment it's gusting 34, winds 31023, gusting 34. Visibility is fine, light rain, few clouds 900 feet, towering cumulus, visibility down to 3000, showers of rain. So that's what's currently happening. Once we're airborne, HD, you can explain your reasoning. I'm going to get through the setup, otherwise we're going to be here on the ground for a while, aren't we? Passengers can start coming on board in a second. We'll get that done, and then I'm going to go through and get the box set up. So let that run for a minute. There we are. Packs coming on, and do we have a jetway tonight? We do. Let's get the jetway over. Start loading those passengers. Okay, so real fueling's underway, overhead's fine, let's just come down, we're obviously in a turnaround state. We've got the current QNH, which is 1017. Pedestal is all fine and set. We're currently on Unicom. That's all good where it should be. Our departure has us at flight level 70 for the clearance. Get the flight directors on, turn the constraints on, and all the instrument panels are looking fine. Okay, init page, init request. There we go. Okay, let's go through and do our setup. So Lima Fox Romeo Sierra is the alternate. Our flight number today. This is a real world flight as well, guys. So it's Alpine 821 Lima. Costing XF8 320 minus 48. Change that to minus 55 as per the brief. Tropos 36344. Flight plan then has us departing runway 32 right, and that is the Leku 5 Quebec. And insert that. Our arrival then, there's no star for us tonight, so it's going to be ILS 28. No star, and that will bring us in via, find these charts up, initial approach is via Inoki. Or let's pop that in. 400 miles. Surely that can't be right. Something's gone wrong there. 400 miles. Flight plan is 100 miles shorter than that. Let's go through, see what doesn't look right. So clear that discontinuity. Clear the duplicate waypoint. Scroll through that. Oh, what's going on here? Oh. Right. So, I keep forgetting I'm looking at this on the tablet and you can't see. Right, so we should go from Inoki, clear out the airport there, clear out the duplicate there, clear out the discontinuity there. So it's because at the moment, what is Rennes 17? Should have us at Inoki and then a DME arc, which at the moment the aircraft can't do. And then we have to fly in via Gomda. Now, Gomda is there, but that Rennes 17, what is that? I want to get rid of that. Let's see if this looks a little bit better. Get rid of this intercept. That should be better. Hang on. Right, so it should be Inoki, then Gomda. And then that's it.
Toulouse traffic, Beluga 56 Alpha, holding short November 2.
Inoki, Gomda, and then that's
runway
the final
32,
approach.
right.
Yeah, so that's right. It just looks slightly strange in the flight plan just because it can't do it at speed. HD asks, why not create the DME arc points? Have we got any waypoints on that DME arc? Sometimes we do. Remember coming into Belfast? So we've got Rennes at, we'll call that 18 miles. So can we pop in after Inoki? It wants to be HD. Confirm this for me. So it would be REN. The bearing is 142, distance 18. So just confirm this for me. Now that we can do this, Rennes, so place, bearing, and distance, because I don't think I can do it to a decimal point. So, oh hang on, let's put the slashes in. So I'm hopeful that should work. After an Oki, let's see if we can pop that in. So, Rennes 14218, yeah, HD's just confirmed that. Let's pop that in, see if we can get that in below Inoki.
Toulouse traffic radio check.
Toulouse traffic 5x5. It's not letting me pop that in for some reason.
Thanks.
I wonder if it's because it thinks I'm trying to put it in on that decel point. Can we put it in here? Ah, then it's just put that in the wrong place, hasn't it? Okay, well in that case, let me just put an O key, and I'll just clear one out. If I can put a no key in just there. Yeah, it was just purely because the decel place was there. Right, let me clear out the second Anoki. Right, let's see how that looks. Right, okay, that's that first place bearing distance in. Let's have a look at the next point, which would be a bearing of 107 at 15 miles. So, that decel point is the problem, isn't it? And then we could just create a couple at 15 miles rather than just one. That's a good idea. I just need to be able to get them in the right place. I can't clear the decel, can I? Or can I? I probably can't. Let me just have a go. Just because he's not letting me put it in there. No, it's not. That's annoying. Right, okay. Well, let me just make a couple, and then I'm just going to have to edit it. So REN. Put a bearing of 130.
Toulouse traffic, Beluga 56 Alpha, crossing runway 32 right. They are November 2.
And if I put this in, I'll put it there in Gonda. I just have to put Gonda in afterwards.
Sierra 2 and Whiskey to Beluga Park.
And the next one, REN. I'll put that 107. Yeah, 107. If I can type correctly. 107 at 15. Pop that in. Oh, that's put it in the right place. In there. Ah, let's check that. There we go. That's done it. That's done it. Okay, so happy with that. Passengers are on board. Yeah, I could have put. To be fair, now that's there during the cruise, I can probably add some more into that. Right, flight plan looks much happier now. Right, for the RadNav page, because the passengers are on board, so they're going to be getting bored now. Let's just get the Toulouse VOR in there, which is Tango Oscar uniform. Hopefully you guys are on board. And then I want the tow NDB as well. Check the operational flight plan.
All the passengers are on board.
Zero fuel weight 54.4, that's correct.
I'll bring you a cup of tea after we've taken off.
Great stuff, thank you very much.
That headwind is H89. Ouch. Fuel planning 3.8, and what have we got? 7.9. Takeoff weight 62 tons, and fuel for the alternate, should we call that a ton? Which gives us an extra 2 hours and 6 minutes flight time. Hey HD, that would be able to get us back here to where we started. Alright, onto the performance page. Transition altitude here is 5000 feet. Thrust reduction is 1497. That's close enough here for 90, just to make the engine out altitude as well. Flaps 1 and V speeds. V1, V2, and sorry, not V2, VR and V2. Any speed restrictions on the departure? I don't believe there are. No, not at all. So that's all good. Excellent. I'll just welcome everybody on board while I do a couple of things, then we'll do a departure brief.
and the cabin crew, may I welcome you on board this EasyJet aircraft for your flight today. The ground crew and the fueling crew have all finished, and we're just about finished with all our cockpit preparation up here. The cabin crew are making their final checks as they work through the cabin, so if you could please get yourselves sat down comfortably with your seatbelts securely fastened and give them their full attention as they begin their safety briefing. A big welcome on board today to our EasyJet Sim Pilot members, who of course are welcome to free complimentary drinks throughout the flight. Once we reach our cruising altitude, our cabin service will commence and the cabin crew will be able to provide you with drinks, snacks and merchandise throughout the duration of the flight. Once again, I'd like to thank you for choosing to fly with EasyJet today. We'll have an update for you when we are airborne.
Okay, departure brief time then. So, weather here in Toulouse is obviously a little bit wet, but the airport has got 2 nice long runways. Nothing's going to stop us getting back in here. Visibility is pretty good as well, so no issues coming back and returning to Toulouse should we have any problems after departure. Aircraft is the experimental version of the A320NX. No TAMs, nothing that's going to concern us for this flight. Threats to be aware of on the departure. Not too many, to be fair. There's very little traffic. There's no ATC. We're kind of on our own, so we just need to keep an ear out for any calls on Unicom. It obviously has been raining, so we're aware. Don't go crazy during the taxis or anything like that. And we've got some low-level cloud again. Not really too concerning. Minimum safe altitude for our departure. Initially 2,500, but at 10 miles it's then going to be get up to 3,000 feet around the Toulouse VOR. Let's just brief the taxi. So where are we? We are parked at stand Echo 30. We're going to push back facing south or southeast. We're then going to taxi down on Tango, and then it's Papa, I think it is. And HD, just confirm for me the performance calculations you give me, which I have put in. I just realised you've not seen me put that in, but I have put that in now. Is that from N1 or N2? Just so we know, is that full length, which is November 1? Okay. Departure at runway 32 right, straight forward on the departure. Initial climb out, flight level 70. We're on the Lacu 5 Quebec, climb on track to 1,500 feet or above. Direct to BO320, but nice RNAV departure. Get that autopilot on, nice and early. Emergency brief, most of us are familiar with this now, but just a top and tail, so no ATC, any problems on the ground, I'll stop the aircraft and make a call on Unicom, try and fix any problems by running ECAM drills, etc. And then obviously if it's only a minor issue, we don't need to worry the cabin crew with that. On departure, any problems or warnings before 100 knots, then I'll consider stopping, but after 100 knots and up to V1, I'll only stop for the uninhibited ECAM warnings or cautions, engine fire or failure with or without thrust loss, or if I think the aircraft's just completely unsafe to fly. If that's the case, I'll call stop and we need to set max reverse, keep the aircraft nice and straight on the runway and use manual braking if all control brake isn't stopping us as well as I expect it to. With the wind, if we've had any fire warning, I'll attempt to point the aircraft into the wind. Once we come to a stop, stow the reversers and set the parking brakes. Once we've established cause of a failure, then I would vacate the runway. Of course, if it was something more serious like a fire warning, then we need to consider running the evacuation. Failure after V1, then we have to get the aircraft into the air. If it's an engine failure, we'll fly using standard technique, 12.5 degree pitch, following SRS, and using the rudder to counteract any yaw. Once the aircraft's got a positive rate of climb, get the gear up, trim out the yaw, engage autopilot. Toga will also be available to us because we're now doing a flex takeoff thanks to the figures HD gave us. It's standard engine out, so we can pull the heading book nice and early, continue on the continue on the runway heading. Once we've shut down that engine and it's secure and we're above the single engine acceleration altitude, we'll push the level off, accelerate, retract the flaps on schedule, and then at green dot go open climb, set MCT. Standard engine out procedure here, so it is a right turn to the tow NDB, and that is at 2,000 feet. Inbound course into that hold is 258 and left turns. Once we're there, we'll decide what we're going to do. Okay. HD, does November 2 have takeoff runway available? Probably not, by the way, you've asked that question. It's probably not allowed, is it? Tell you what, let me just humour you. Dun 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 dun. Is that even given here? Oh, hang on, wrong page. Airport info. Takeoff runway available. 32 left. No, I didn't want 32 right. Where am I missing that? I can't even find 32 right here. 14 right, 32 left. Hot spots, takeoff, that's low visibility takeoffs. Which chart is that shown on? If it's not there, there's your answer. Oh, okay. I'm searching for something that's clearly not there. We can just use the full length. Well, there's no threshold anyway, is there? A displaced threshold, so full length 3025. Alright, all happy with the brief. I think we're about ready to start running our before start checks to the line. Final paranoia check. Overhead looks good. And we'll look okay down there as well. Let's get rid of our GPU. I think we're disconnected. We've just not told him to bugger off. So before start checks, cockpit prep is complete. Our signs are on and auto. Adheres 3.5 green. Fuel quantity is 7980. Checked and balanced. FMGS is set. Altimeter is 1015. So that's just changed ever so slightly. So that's now 1015. We need to increase the flex by 1 as that's dropped by 2. So let's just go in and do that. Performance flex is going to be now 68. Okay, let's get that ground crew in place.
Cockpit to ground. This is ground. Stand by.
Obi-Wan, no, this is not default scenery. So ordinarily we get our ATC clearance now from ATC. There isn't any, so we're just going to go ahead with the next flows.
Sir,
so
the bypass pin is installed. All
beacon
doors
light,
and
those
hatches
with steering is
closed and all ground
disconnected.
equipment is removed.
Start
Standing by
the
for
timer.
pushback.
Acupressor is good. Transponder set to auto. Check those thrust levers. Parking brake. Before start checklist then below the line.
Crew, please arm doors and cross check.
So windows and doors are closed and armed. Beacon light is on. Mobile phone is off. Parking brake is on. Let's make the call and then we can get ready to go. Toulouse traffic, Alpine 821 Lima, stand Echo 30, pushing back on Tango facing southeast.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead.
We are cleared for start and push. Parking brake set.
Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
Going to have a quick check behind us. Perfect, there's no one there. Parking brake
Please
released.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
Slow that tug speed down just a little bit. There we go, and let's start those engines. Engine mode selects us to ignition and starting engine 1. Dr. Magic says you're going to have to I'm going to have to rewatch the DME ARC programming bit. Need to get my head around that. To be fair, there's probably a little video we could do for that now that we can add our own waypoints in. So again, this is the Payware handcrafted Toulouse airport.
We take you through
Really
the safety
nice.
procedures on this aircraft. A safety card is in your seat pocket showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets and brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 2 emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle, and 2 at the front of the cabin. Floor lighting will guide you to an exit. Please be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above you. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth. Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take the life jacket from under your seat. Put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist. Click together and pull the strap to adjust. Do not inflate it inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate by pulling the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into the tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention. We also carry flotation aids for children. Your tray table must now be stowed, armrest down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. We wish you a pleasant flight with EasyJet.
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
No, I've not got a new GPU. Still the same one we've always had. Thankfully, it's still working because I don't think I could afford a new one. So engine number 2 is now stabilised, and engine mode selector to normal, APU bleed, and APU masters off, anti-ice on. And spoilers, rudder, flaps, trim, after start checklist, anti-ice is on, ECAM status is checked, pitch trim is 24.2, rudder is 0. So where's our pushback tug? All the way back there, nice and out of the way. So we'll announce our taxi clearance now. Toulouse traffic, Alpine 821 Lima, taxiing now to holding point, runway 32 right via Tango and Papa. Just before we do that, I'm just quickly going to do a flight control check. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, rudder, full right, rudder, full left, neutral. Oh look, and here comes the rain. Parking brake released. That looks great, doesn't it? Oh, here really does come the rain. Wonderful.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
That is unbelievable. That really is. Funny the windscreen wipers worked. Okay, take a right just here. Unbagged says it looks closer to snow than rain. Well, quite, yes. I love how it gives you the blurry effect of the green taxi lights shining through the rain droplets on the windshield. And the reflective lights of the fuel truck that we are about to ingest in our engine. Ah, come on simulator, you need to do better with the ground traffic. Alfie says it's fantastic weather, it's like mini Britain. Oh, it's been like this all day today. First Officer George had to wait for his walks today. Right, now we're on the straight. Let's do our heads check. So performance did change. We've done that. QNH 1015. Flex is now 68. Engine out procedure. Standard 2,000 feet. Right turn to the tow NDB. Departure is the Lacon 5 Quebec. And stop altitude is 7,000 feet. Before takeoff checklist then. To the line. Flight controls have been checked. Departure briefing is confirmed. Flap setting is config 1. FMA takeoff data 131 blue, 135 magenta, climb nav blue, 1FD2 7000, flex 68. Transponder is set. ECAM memo takeoff no blue. EFB is stowed. We just need to get the weather radar on. It doesn't work, but we'll get that on. And that. Where's my taxi lights gone? Not the taxi lights from the aircraft, but on the actual taxiway. Thankfully, we shouldn't be able to get lost here. It's right to the end and then turn right. Slow down for the turn. Dark Fury asks if we can still do a flex on contaminated runway. It's just wet, so that doesn't constitute contaminated. Hold that just there. Right, so our takeoff, the approach path looks clear. Toulouse traffic, Alpine 821 Lima, lining up runway 32 right for departure on the Lacon 5 Quebec.
crew, if you could take your seat for takeoff.
Right, here comes the rain again. Should we get going? The rain here is a great indication of which way the wind's blowing, so engine number 1's critical. Take off. Start the chrono. Set 50% N1. Engine stable, set takeoff thrust. Man flex. SRS. Having to put quite a bit of rudder in actually. 100 knots.
Check.
Get that car off the runway. V1. Rotate. Slowly releasing that. Oh, there's a gust. Nav.
Positive right. Gear up.
And we're going to be in the clouds very soon. And set climb thrust. Thrust climb. Climb. Autopilot 1 engaged. Oh, you absolute dumpling. Never mind. Probably better for COVID. And the flaps, so we pass S speed, flaps 0, ground spoilers disarmed. Set standard pressure. I was waiting for that question to be asked, HD. To be fair, that's not the one I normally forget. It's usually the before start below the line. Now happily above MSA as well. Okay, no ATC, let's continue our climb. Let's set flight level 200, set into open climb. So thrust climb, open climb, 200 blue. Once we get to 10,000 feet, we'll get the lights off. We can release the cabin crew.
Please keep your seatbelt fastened while the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes.
10,000 feet, the nose will lower, will start to accelerate away. Now, I'm going to ask HD a question here. Flying at night, normally we'd obviously turn the landing lights off at this point, above 10,000 feet, but flying at night, would there ever be a chance or occasion where you would keep them on purely to see when you are in and out of the clouds? Got a bit more view over there because you've got them illuminated by the moon, but struggling to see just here when we're out of them. Strobes are actually on because I've now started to remember to put them onto auto. They should have been turned on as we rolled out onto the runway. In fact, they are on. I think that's auto, that's off. Yeah, they are on. HT says it's pretty obvious when you're out of the clouds because you can see the stars. Ah, but what if there's multiple cloud layers? Or would you just leave it on throughout the whole climb? That's going to annoy Greta. So I'm just checking the prog page. Flight level 320 is our cruise altitude today. No issues with that. So that's flight level 320, 320 blue. Also clearing out the RadNav page. Happy for the seatbelt signs to come off now as well. I can see a star. I have to differentiate between stars and dust on my screen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the seatbelt sign has now been turned on. You are now free to move around the cabin and the toilets are now available. However, when in your seat, we recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times in case of unexpected turbulence. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
So, good evening to everyone who's joined us perhaps a little bit later on who I haven't had time to greet. Obviously on the ground it's a bit of a busy time. So the voices and cabin crew announcements, they're coming from a mod called Self-Loading Cargo. The aircraft we're using is the fly-by-wire mod, and this is the experimental version of the aircraft. And Gareth, how did I get the operational flight plan on the fly pad? Oh, I've just turned that off. It saves on frame rates. But to make sure that you... Am I above MSA HD? Yeah, should be, definitely. MSA was 3,000 feet. 2,500 for 10 miles and then 3,000 feet after that, and the Moras, as I went through the operational flight plan at the start, I don't think they actually got anywhere above 3,000 feet, to be honest with you. I'm just double checking that now you've asked. Yeah, 3,000. 2,900 was the maximum. Oh, the stream's delayed, isn't it? I bet you were asking why I'd not put this to standard, weren't you? Yeah, okay. Yeah, in order to get the operational flight plan on the tablet, you need to use the settings page, and is it sim options? Or is it ATSU and AOC? Oh, there you go. Put in your SimBrief username or ID, either will do. Pop that in there, and then when you're on the home page, just press from SimBrief. That will then populate with everything that we need to know. So, not a long climb to cruise tonight. Low cruise altitude, 32,000 feet. Colin, good evening. Air Trooper 37, good evening to you. Profile, if the sim stucks at the fully loaded bar, then make sure you are no longer using the old fly-by-wire stable build. A new one has been released. And if that fails, make sure that your content manager, you've no fly-by-wire packages in there either. Get rid of all of those, empty the community folder, and then try again. Ah yes, HD, the Manchester fire. Was that British Air Tours, wasn't it? That and panic ensued amongst the cabin. Lots of factors went into that catastrophe. Yeah, the pilot turned off the runway, didn't they? They perhaps would have been better staying put. Eddie Friesen, thank you for subscribing. Victor, I calculated the flex temp with HD's help, with a real world calculator. No ATC at all tonight. $27,000 feet. Nick, will there be I-95 tomorrow? I am not sure. We may have to reevaluate this and perhaps do it on a different night. We'll see how things go. My life has changed for the next 6 weeks. Well, my life hasn't. My wife's has, which in turn means that mine has. HD says he'll try and explain the fuel decision on the Discord because it'll take too long on here. That's fair enough, you're limited to characters on here, aren't you? Look at that headwind. Oh, HD, we are all interested. Stephen Kirkpatrick, thank you for subscribing. So just whilst we're monitoring the climb, already looking at what we're going to be doing when we get into briefing our approach. At Rennes, it's going to be runway 28. No star. It's the 50-mile DME arc. Transition altitude there is 5,000 feet. Platform altitude is 2,000 feet. That's low. MSA is also 2,000 feet. And decision altitude is 321. ILS frequency 1101. Elevation is 121. 1,000 feet to go. And missed approach is 2,000. Actually, I'm going to double check that in a second. Mac Alt Star. Ooh, HD, that's a good Friday night quiz question. Alt Cruise. I'm not even sure I know the answer to that. 200 knots.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, you'll be delighted to hear that we're now at our cruising altitude, and we hope to give you nice views throughout the flight as we have good weather ahead and shouldn't be experiencing any turbulence. ground service, which will begin shortly. A reminder that EasyJet Simple Pilot channel members are able to access free drinks throughout the duration of the flight. Thank you, and I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the remainder of the flight.
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase a selection of hot beverages, together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we can be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Right, okay. So, cracking on with our arrival brief, or certainly planning for the arrival before we brief it, at Enoki, we want to be flight level 70. Oh, Brian, you look at you getting in the good books. What are you at? We're flight level 320, aren't we? Yeah. So that's going to be 75 miles away from Enoki. We want to start that. Actually, we've got a strong headwind. So let's just put that... that's going to slow us down. So let's sort that out. How do I spell that right? E-N-O-K-I. E-N-O-K-I. Pop that into the fixes page. 75 mile radius. That's our top of descent. Will 8900, good evening to you. Alfie, how do you contact the tower with VATSIM in the fly-by-wire tablet? So you can't contact them, but you can tune to them if they were online by pressing here. It'll tell you which controllers are in range, and we don't want to contact any of those. Christian, are we doing a Saturday night quiz? No, we're doing a Friday night quiz. On a Saturday. $266 miles to run. Just check that top of descent line's in there. Yeah, there it is. Let's pull up the ground charts. I'm unfamiliar with this airport, so is there anything we need to know? I don't think I've ever landed here, actually. So we're landing runway 28. If we could stop via Delta, that would be quite nice. Any information for the taxi here? That's low visibility. Takeoff stuff, don't need that. So HD, that 100 knot headwind means we could take 10 miles off the top of descent, doesn't it? Go on then, we'll be good. Call it 65. And the wind will help us slow down. Right, so runway 28. 1,806 meters. We've got a great headwind slowing us down though, haven't we? Standard width 45 meters. So we can turn around as well. We don't have to go all the way to the end unless there's anything that tells us that we have to. Taxiway Alpha restricted to aircraft 2s. Yeah, that's not going to bother us. taxiway Bravo Delta, over width of the main landing gear is max 9 meters. Golf, less than 20. J reserved for light aviation aircraft. Okay. So parking stands, we'll just bring us straight in on one of the Charlie stands. Parking stands, Bravo 1 through Bravo 4 available for helicopters. Okay, auto brake low for this one. The wind will help us. Let's just go back to the approach charts and see what's happening there. Right, I can probably program a couple more of these in actually, and then I can leave it in nav mode all the way through. So, take the grass taxiway, Christian. Is it over 30 meters? Sorry, 36 meters. Let's add a few more of these in, shall we? We should have done the fuel check at Lacou, shouldn't we? Where are we now? We're 82 miles from Toulouse. So we'll do the fuel check when we get to Toulouse. What we should have had at Lacou is... Where have we gone? What did we take? 8 tons. Wow. Which was what? 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, 3.5, 3.7 tons extra. 3.7 tons extra, so at Lacou we should have had about 6.9 tons. Well, obviously we've got 6.6 now. Let's see what we've got then when we get to Toulouse. See how that works. That looks about right actually. We'll go through and do the systems checks. All the cabin pressure is good. Landing elevation set to auto, 100 feet. Electric page is fine. Yeah, hydraulics is good. Nice to see the rat's not working this time as it was on one flight. Nothing we'd done, of course. Fuel used all adds up to 8, so that's fine. No fuel leak. APU, not bothered about that. 24 degrees in the cabin. All the doors are armed. Temperatures of the brakes are fine. All computers working. System status is normal. So let me zoom out and add in a couple of those now. So bring up the that chart again. Let's have a look and see what was it? REN, isn't it? Yep. Bring that chart back in. Every time I click on that, that disappears. So REN, and let's do call it one. Just trying to. Do you know? I can't remember what I popped this one in at. Let's do 120, which will go in just here. Yeah, 120. Pop another one in there. 120, 15, and that goes in after 2, before 3, so that should go in just there. There we are. And it's giving us a daft line because we're flying too fast for it at the moment to compute. As we slow down, it should then lead us in nicely from this place bearing 03 to Gomda. Let's just check that missed approach so we know what's happening. So yeah, this was a question I was going to double check with you then on this HD. So, are we putting 2,000 or 4,000 in there? In fact, you know, I'm going to let everyone else answer first. So, here's the missed approach. Climb straight ahead to 1,000 feet. Then turn left to the VOR, climbing to 2,000 feet. Then climb in holding to 4,000 feet, or as directed. So, missed approach altitude, is it 2,000 or 4,000? I'll let you know my answer in 30 seconds or so. Just give you guys a chance to answer, and then HD can clarify. So then, we've got our top of descent sorted, we know where that's going to be. So I want to be flight level 70 by Anoki. Obviously our speed there is going to be 250 knots. On leaving Anoki we need to get down to 4,000 feet. Plenty of time to do that. Now, this is quite handy because I put a place bearing distance in there. That's PD 03 at 4,000 feet. I can actually go and set that now. So if I went in there and put plus 4,000 feet in on the altitude constraint, that's now set. So 4,000 feet. After that we can then get down to 2,000 feet and pick up the ILS and glide slow. So flight level 70 as we make the DME arc. Got plenty of time to slow down, particularly with the wind. That will slow us down. Get to green dot. As we approach this waypoint now in here, we will get out flaps 1, pick up the localizer, and then with the glide slope, flaps 2 to get inbound. On landing, auto brake low. Try and vacate on Delta. If we can't, then obviously we can turn the aircraft around. Runway is large enough for us not to have to go right to the turning pad at the end. Taxi via Delta Alpha. Okay, not sure if anyone answered the question that I posed a little bit earlier on, but so the missed approach, where's that gone? Missed approach, I would have set 2,000 feet, enter the hold, and then climb to 4,000 feet. So my missed approach altitude I would have set to 2,000 feet. Do not turn before passing missed approach point. Climb to 13,000 feet prior to level acceleration. We can go ahead and sort that as well. We've got the weather. Send that off. Go around, make sure, what did it say, 1,300 feet prior to acceleration. So, thrust reduction, 1,000 feet above, which would be 1121. Accelerations 1300. Engine out. 1121. I just realised you can't see what I'm doing. I need to get used to the fact that the McDo is next to me now rather than on screen. So we've done our arrival brief. Let's just check what that weather is showing now. That company message has come through. And then we'll pop that in. So, current meta. Ooh, winds have dropped down. Nice. So, QNH is currently 1006. Hang on, again, I've just remembered you guys can't see it. So there you go, winds 280, 15 visibility, 10 kilometers or more, light rain, few clouds, 2,000 feet broken, 4,100 broken, 6,200. Temperature is 6. QNH 1006. Temporary winds 260, 15 knots, gusting 30, 3,000 meters visibility, showers of rain, broken 1,000 feet. Okay, let's get all that in there. On the QNH, temperature 6 degrees, wind 280 at 15, transition altitude is 5,000 feet, and 321, the decision altitude. Top of descent in around 50 miles or so. Estimate of time of landing is just after 10 PM. UTC, that is, of course. Or 2200 hours. HD says now I can relax. Yeah, I have gotten guilty at times, or been guilty rather, of leaving all the briefing and the setting up to the last minute. We've now got 40 miles. Can I call the cabin crew? HD asks, right, let's go around to go back to the go around performance page. Let me see. Perf. There we go. Okay, let me explain quickly why I've put this in. So, thrust reduction 1,000 feet above the aerodrome. Aerodrome elevation was 121. Thrust reduction also matches engine out acceleration. So the acceleration value I'd put in at 1,300, just because of what did that say on the chart now? Climb to 1,300 feet prior to level acceleration. Would you only do that if you were doing a missed approach rather than a go-around? Oh, I get it. So, that has nothing to do with this. That is if you're on the approach and you're somehow here and you need to do the go-around procedure. Well, that has you overflying the runway, doesn't it? And back around. Wait for HD's knowledge to come through with that one. So HD asks, do we level off to accelerate and retract flaps? No. You don't on a takeoff. You never level off. You might lower the nose slightly to accelerate, but you wouldn't level off. HC says nope, still missing the point. That climb to 13,000 feet prior to level acceleration does not apply. When we accelerate and retract flaps while still climbing. Yeah. So what is the point of that? Is it just to give you something to think about? If so, it worked. Nicholas says, can you enter the missed approach path into the Not yet, no. Not yet. I really want to know what the point of this is now. Unless maybe with something like a Cessna. Oh, HD says it's not relevant to our aircraft category. Ah, there you go. Hey Chumi, a member for 11 months. Thank you so much, Chumi, for your continued support over that time. And he says, I hope you have a safe and smooth landing. As long as it's safe, I don't care if it's smooth. Brian, the map point is missed approach point. Ooh, HD, I know the answer that you've just posed. When would we accelerate on a single engine go-around? Am I allowed to answer that one? Still no ATC anywhere. How strange this is.
Ladies and gentlemen, take full advantage of your tax-free allowances today and make some amazing savings with our boutique range. In your in-flight brochure, you'll find details of our award-winning selection of gifts, most with massive discounts, some of which are exclusive to you as an EasyJet customer. Make the most of your opportunity to shop and save from the comfort of your seat. If you'd like to see any products, have any questions, or would like to make great savings, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Okay, so as far as I understand it, the only time you would accelerate on a single engine go-around is when you are above the MSA. You don't want to do it before then. There may be some terrain in the way. 11 Clark M, thank you so much for your kind super chat. Thank you for your support, Clark. Hope you're having a great weekend. Thanks for being on board with us tonight. Really do appreciate that. And Michael Spector, thank you so much, Michael. Welcome to the Captain's Club, Michael. Thank you so much for your support. If you are in the Discord server, please do make yourself known to us on our Discord. If you're there, we'll get you into the VIP room. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that, Michael. Oh, of course you do. When you're at the go-around altitude. Duh. Well done, Christian. Right then, guys. Time to start heading down flight level 70. Thrust idle, open descent,
Make sure
070
that the
blue.
clear, the cabin crew are able to make their way around the aircraft without any luggage in the aisles. That would be most appreciated. A reminder for our EasyJet pilot members that free drinks are still available from the cabin crew until the seatbelt signs are turned on. Please note, however, that the toilets will shortly go out of use. Thank you.
So HD, would we put the acceleration altitude in there at 2,000 feet on the go-round? We descend now, speed 270. That headwind doing a grand job of slowing us down already. So HD says you can put 2,000 feet in the engine at acceleration. It doesn't make much difference, to be fair. Go on then, why not? I've never actually tried a go around with an engine failure. I mean, that's advanced stuff. It's when they give it to the pros in the Sims at Innsbruck. Chris Shaw on Twitch. Blooming heck, it's Saturday. What am I doing here? I know. Well, I thought, you know what? After 2 weeks off over Christmas, I need to get my knowledge base back up. Quickly forget stuff. Bitzone says, with 120 knot headwind, could you basically hover? If I was a Cessna, probably. I'd be going backwards. Christian asks, can someone tell me why we still have 6 tons of fuel if the weather is so bad? HD is going to enlighten us on Discord. This is HD's fuel, which we obviously were not going to go against. Dino 408, thank you for following on Twitch. And Air Trooper 37 says the night lights are out of this world. Absolutely right. It's a rather nice angelic scenic approach, this, isn't it? I'm expecting some clouds to come in, as it did say over the airfield. Damien! Thank you so much, Damien. Welcome to the Captain's Club. Really appreciate that, Damien. Thank you for becoming a member. If you're on our Discord server, please do get in touch with me. We'll get you in the VIP room. Look forward to seeing you on more flights in the future. Very kind of you. Right, I'm just going to turn the VOR on. 63 miles away from the airfield. HD says 8 tons might have been a tad overkill, but he had his reasons, and he doesn't have to pay for it. Gem Goody says it's HD collecting nectar points. Nick says HD's got the company credit card. He wishes. Profile's not looking too bad at the minute. Maximilian, did I also have a problem with not loading the A320NX? No. People who had the stable build had that problem though. HD, you now have enough for a multi-pack of washing up sponges. Well, I hope they're the good kind. Not those that fall apart after 3 washes and you can't scrub a pan with. Coming up on 19,000, so we'll get that cabin secured. And we'll run the approach checklist. So, seatbelt signs are on. Arrival brief is done and confirmed. Minimums 3, 2, 1. Set both side. Engine mode selects are normal. EFB is stowed. 11 Clark M. Oh, thank you so much, Clark, for your 179 super chat. And 11 Clark asks, just wondering, am I a real pilot? No, sadly not. I failed that class 1 many moons ago. So now I'm just an anorak. Nothing wrong with that, of course. Chris Shaw, you tried really hard to practice your landings and flare last night. Self-loading cargo told you were too soft. Wow. It's better than some of the landings I've had where it's told me that the ground has actually come up to meet me rather than me going the other way down. And Nabil, no, you don't have to put the throttle back to idle manually. There's a tutorial on the channel which explains about the auto thrust in the A320. It's a little bit misleading at times, but basically after takeoff, you very soon after takeoff, leave it in this climb gate down there, CL, and I'm not going to touch, and you don't touch those again. I'm not going to touch that until I get to about 30 feet from the runway. Although Christian, I've just realised, you doing your Lufthansa sops, hand flying it all the way down. Maximilian says you love the tutorials. Max, thank you so much. Hope they have been of help to you. So profile's looking good. We're going to drop our speed down to 250 knots in a little bit. So I think some of you just had a bit of a Peppa Pig moment there. Nothing went wrong here. Streamlabs just had a moment, but reconnected quickly. It lasted for about a second. Hopefully you're all back with me. If some people could just, who may still be having issues, just tell them to, in the chat, just to hit refresh. 10,000 feet. And get those lights on. Nat Dave on Twitch, thank you for following. Okay, so just has speed 250 knots, 10,000 feet. We'll activate the approach phase. Oh shoot! What have I done? Yeah, no, that's okay. I had a brain fart moment. Yeah, activate the approach phase. Landing systems on. That arc's not looking bad. Woo! What happened to the winds just there? Bit turbulent. Not seeing many clouds, that's okay. I didn't hear any screaming from the passengers either, actually. Here we come up, flight level 70. Speed Alt Star. Paul Knowles, you just had to Google a Peppa Pig moment. I'm not quite sure what you're going to get if you pop that search term into Google. Roy, I am using plus 10 fuel factor, and glad you're enjoying the channel. Ghost Rider on Twitch, thanks for following. Okay, so as briefed, as we leave it in Koi, I'm actually going to set our altitude down to 2,000 feet. The constraints should come into play though that I've popped in there, so we'll level off at 4,000 feet. And yeah, I can just leave that in manage descent all the way down. Even the glide slope's now alive. Okay, so let's set 2,000 feet. Let's pop that into managed. There's that constraint. In fact, I'm probably not going to use managed. I'm probably going to use VS because we've got plenty of time. Okay, now we're into manage speed. Rennes traffic, Alpine 821 Lima, 18 miles out from the field, starting the 15-mile DME arc for runway 28. OKTM, good evening to you. I feel the wind buffeting the aircraft there.
Cabin crew, about 15 minutes to landing, giving the
Lilo 25, good evening. OKTM, yeah, you're just here for the approach. Good timing. I think I can almost hear the wind as well. That might just be my imagination. So it's now flying this DME arc that we've sort of manually programmed in there. Be interested to see what the wind's doing when we get on short finals.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be landing. Please ensure your cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside. Your tray table must be stowed, armrest down, and window blind open. You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers, or magazines that you do not want to take with you. The toilets are no longer in service.
Damien, you thought the wind was going to blow you out the sky earlier today. It has been blustery, hasn't it? So, 15-mile DME arc working a charm. No more having to do it manually by using the VOR rows. Profile's looking very good. OKTM, Happy New Year to you as well. So there's that altitude constraint. I'm going to pull flaps 1 out now. So speed, alt constraint, and flaps 1. Speed checked, flaps 1. Reduce that speed 180 knots. On the approach, glide slope lock blue, Cat 3 dual autopilot 1 and 2. Here comes the localizer. I would have expected to see lock star, though there it is, lock star. Glide slope's coming in, flaps 2, speed check, flaps 2. Glide slope star. Well, it wasn't heading down to 2,000 feet like I had programmed it to, but it was going to bring us down on the glide slope. Had it not gone to glide slope start, then I may have panicked a little bit. However, all looks good. Rennes traffic, Alpine 821 Lima established, runway 28, 11 miles. Right, so almost a straight on headwind at 43 knots. And we're on a 10-mile final. Ding them up here as well.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
so with that headwind, just reminding ourselves that nice strong headwind, we really shouldn't need to flare too much, just a little bit, and that headwind should do the job for us really.
$2,500.
Radio altimeter alive. Quick look outside before we get back in the flight deck. Loving the moon this evening. Alright, so let's configure our aircraft. Speed, landing gear, spoilers, flaps 3, speed checked, flaps 3, get the lights on, and flaps full. Landing checklist. Cabin is secured for landing. Auto thrust speed, go around altitude is 2,000 feet. Set ECAM memo, landing no blue. Danny says your runway is partially blacked out on finals. It does look like there's a gap in my runway as well, so that's interesting. Don't want anyone turning out the runway lights. DMA arc. That was beautiful. Christopher Shaw, thank you so much for your very, very generous £10 super chat. Christopher, thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. Christopher just says awesome stuff, mate. Christopher, thank you. You're a long-time supporter of the channel, so really, really do appreciate that, Christopher. Thank you for flying with us this evening. HD asks, is it a patch of fog? Well, where are these clouds? There was meant to be clouds, wasn't there? Okay, guys, let's see how we manage this nice headwind. Autopilot disconnected. I have control. Just keep us on a downward path. Not careful, that wind buffeting us could just decrease our rate of descent somewhat. No, there are no pappies at this airfield.
$500.
Stable. That wind's dropped right down now, look.
400.
Could swing round though, yeah. Or the gusts certainly could. Was it just me or does the centre line look green?
100 above.
I know you guys can't see this, but I am having to put quite a lot of corrections in on the side stick at the minute.
Minimum.
Continue. Wow, this runway's dark.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Little roll there, but anyway. Spoilers deployed, reverse green. 70 knots, reverses off. A little bit of manual braking there just for good measure. And I think we should be able to vacate quite nicely.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access
Rennes traffic runway
may
28
now be
vacated.
used. Please make sure that you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat and in the overhead lockers. Do take care when opening the lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your EasyJet journey. For the latest news, promotions, flight and destination information, check out our official Facebook page, Twitter or EasyJet app.
Let's get the APU started as well. Now, very little lighting again, sadly, as it is a default airport. But never mind, we'll park somewhere on the right in front of this terminal building. That should be where the parking stands are. I know, what a crazy amount of fuel. I've just wasted so much money. I've just tankered the next 2 flights. Okay, next right-hand taxi line I see. I'm taking it. There we are. I'm going to have to cheat a little bit here. Look over the glare shield. This is correct, actually. They are, according to the chart, parked at an angle in front of this building rather than being head on. And I've left the taxi lights on because otherwise we'd be in absolute darkness. Parking brake on. Get that taxi light off now. Engine 1, engine 2 shut down. Get those seatbelt signs off. Beacon light can come off as well. Fuel pumps. And standby transponder, set that to 2000. Oh, it already is. Happy days! Everyone, welcome to Rennes. Thankfully, the weather was not nearly as bad as we had predicted. We should be able to call some ground vehicles up as well. Are we parked in the right place? We got the GPU connected. Oh, there's no. We must not be quite in the right place, as there's no option to connect a GPU. If I call any of these, I'm not sure they're going to appear. Possibly not. Let's have a quick check outside, see what I can see. Oh, who's that? Oh, there is a GPU. It's just taxied underneath the aircraft. That doesn't mean to say I can connect to him though, as the option isn't done. Right. Well, that's about it. Down, safe and sound. Nice windy approach. Great headwind throughout all of that. Oh, it's been nice to see some of you on a Saturday night for a change. Sadly, I can't promise that to be a regular thing. I can't even remember the last time I streamed on a Saturday, but really nice to have you all on board with us. Thank you so much. Hope you've enjoyed the stream this evening. For those of you who have donated and contributed during the flight this evening, thank you so much. Really, really do appreciate that. And of course, the EasyJet Pilot channel members for your ever continuing support. Thank you so much. And to HD, of course, for his, as always, for his guidance and general good PMing. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. I'm going to try and get an I-95 5 in tomorrow, but keep an eye on the Discord server for more information on that. Welcome to our 2 new members as well. Looking forward to seeing you on more flights in the future. Hope you have a great Sunday tomorrow, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Good night.